Have Zarah
There you go.
and Ericson.
Hi everyone. Is that loud enough? Yeah. Loud, okay. Hi everyone. My name is Zarah. I am in third year studying public health and international studies. Coming into UCSD, I came in with not feeling a sense of belonging until I joined KP. And that's where I found not just incredible friendships, but also a family. And that's where I was able to grow and experience struggles that really contributed to my development and my experiences at UCSD. Sorry. So I'm running as vice chair internal because I want to give others the same opportunities I experienced, and I want to give back to the community. And I want to foster growth. I want to foster political, social, academic and social growth. And also, I want to, give students mentors and the resources and all the opportunities they need and they deserve, because they need to be retained not just in KP space, but as importantly at UCSD. And moreover, I also want to, build and strengthen our relationships with our allies, especially FCC, Kappa Tao, all the other SAC orgs, all the spaces, the cross-cultural center spaces, the LGBTRC and the Women's Center, because I think as people of color, it's important to stand in solidarity because we all experience the similar struggles that we all go through, similar oppressions and injustices. And I feel that as peoples of color, and being underrepresented and underserved, we all need to stand together and preserve our cultures and our values so that our voices can be heard. And with that, I feel that I have the enthusiasm and the experience to fulfill all the duties of Vice Chair Internal.
Hello everyone, my name is Ericson, third year Management Science at Mirror. And I'll just start by saying that I love KP. I fell in love with the space my freshman year, and I remember it was like trying day, it was welcoming day, where I walked down the library walk, and then it was like all tables of clubs, orgs, sports, and one that really stood out to me was KP because they had the tinikling sticks over there. And at that time, my ate, Bianca and Ate Diana was like the co-culture coordinator. And then Ate Bianca actually came up to me and said do you want to try? I was like, hell yeah, and I showed moves, and I really liked that, that welcoming space. She wasn't even afraid to ask because I didn't even hesitate to even go because it was just natural. It was just natural for me to go, and then I felt like I belonged, and then when I checked out all the the first GBAM, one person that really stood out to me was Ate Joanne, and she was the vice chair internal at that year, and hearing her speak, and just her smiles, I really saw her passion, and that really moved me because I was I want to be that person. I want to be that person who introduce someone into a space, into a comfortable space. I want to challenge someone be uncomfortably comfortable, and literally I just want to be there for them, for GBMers to come talk to me and then be approachable to them. And I feel board members should not be intimidated, and in the picture of intimidation. And I feel I can be that person who can draw people in and make them feel I'm also a friend, not just a board member. And one thing, when I got my mentor, that was the best, one of the best things that happened to me, because if you don't know, I had an argument with my other before we even got paired, and she knew that I was paired with I was her Audi, and that mentorship program really challenged me to be more open-minded, be more understanding, and I think that's how we develop our our relationships so much even deeper in connections, because of how different we are and how similar we are to at the same time. And I want to be that person, to give someone a mentor, a mentee, and to make that relationship with them, and reflect back and then want them to give back to the space, because it is important giving back the space, because it's a form of retention and just spreading out like community at the same time.
So, oftentimes the work of activism, politics, and social justice knowledge will fall upon the shoulders of only the awareness codes, which takes a highly unhealthy toll on those individuals. As internal, how do you intend to aid the awareness codes in building community with the other SACPOR organizations, since you're also liaison, and other affiliates outside of GBMs? Because a lot of times people say, yeah, we'll do joint GBMs, but a lot of orgs are busy, and a lot of times they won't come to fruition.
Just give you a warning, if I take in process, I'm processing something, because I'm more of like a process and then say something, so if I'm silent, I'm thinking, yeah. So just think. For me personally, I have to admit, I'm not really political. And being bored last year, I was scared of the political pillar. And because culture and political again ties in with like they're together and they're always together. And for me, like through GBMs, yes, you know how like you said like joint GBMs, but I want to understand each SAC org, like each of the 8 SAC org before I even try to invite them, because I don't even know the structure. Personally, I'm gonna admit, like I don't even know. I haven't been to any like GBMs, other GBMs, and how can I invite someone who I don't even know? Like, I want to like personally talk to all the vice chair internal on each org. Have like one of those meetings where just okay, like what do you want from me? Like, what can I like? Here's what I can offer, and like I want to talk to the future internals also, because yes, we all have like our problems between KP and SAC, and I feel like I want to talk to them and ask them like how can we move on from that, but not like emphasizing like this was our problem and it's still our problem. Like I want to say like how can we move on and how can we help each other and be more visible within each org, because I feel like if that one person, if that communication was good, then I feel like it ripples down. It takes a step to actually like connect with one person and then take another step and another step, and then it leads to like some kind of resolution. Yes, it might not be like 1 month or one GBM that resolves it, but I believe in trusting the process, and I feel like doing that first will build that structure, and then we can move on from it.
What does it say? Okay, so yes. I mean, I have it processed, but I just want to make sure I'm going to answer your question right.
So oftentimes the work of activism, politics, and social justice knowledge will fall upon the shoulders of only the awareness codes, which takes a highly unhealthy toll on those individuals. As internal, since we're also liaison, how do you intend to aid the awareness codes in building community with other SACPOR orgs and groups outside of GBM? Because one people will say, like, let's do joint GBMs, but they don't happen because a lot of orgs have their own stuff.
Right. So to address your first issue, I understand that the social awareness, community activism, and GenSex all have that responsibility to fulfill that political aspect of KP, and I think it shouldn't all fall on them. Yes, they're the ones that go out and do programs and events that all mostly relate to the political aspects of KP, but I think it is also the duties of all the board members to be aware, socially, politically aware of what you are doing and how we can contribute to your programs and your events, because I definitely don't want the community activism and social awareness and GenSex to be feel jaded in the space, because they don't come back, they don't get retained, and I want them to be retained in the space because it's so important, and that's what's lacking in our KP space. Is we're lacking that awareness, that social awareness, that political awareness, and I know it's always been a problem, and I can't promise that it's gonna we're gonna move past it, but I will do my best, and I will be there as a support and also at the same time a liaison to other SAC orgs. I'm not gonna go out and say we're gonna have a GBM in every single SAC org. I will, be a liaison and keep in contact with their internals or their chairs, and kind of in the beginning plan out when they have the most availabilities during their GBMs, where they have a month where they're kind of still planning a GBM but don't necessarily have one yet, and then work our schedules around them, especially in maybe like Black History Month, have a joint GBM with BSU, and also understanding the similar struggles that we all share. So how are they related? And then kind of come together as a community and do GBMs together, and not even just GBMs, maybe even socials, or going out to protest and activists together, because I think it's really important. And my time is up. I hope I answered your question.
Since one of your main jobs is to pair kuya ate outings, what are you going to do if an outing or a kuya or an ate goes up to you and says that their pairing is wrong and doesn't work out? How are you going to foster the KA relationship in this case?
Okay, so that's actually happened before. I was fresh exec my first year, and a lot of fresh execs and vice chair internals do go through that. I've heard stories for every single once before, and it's kind of disheartening for students to not even try to foster that growth with their mentor or their mentee. Because I feel that as vice chair internal and fresh execs, we've all worked together and try to get to know each and every one of you, to put you all together, not because you share the same things or you like the same movies or books. It's because we both believe that you can learn from each other and you both can grow. Because it is not only the job of the mentor to help the mentee grow, the mentee should also contribute to the growth of the mentor. Because you can learn so much from the younger heads and from your outing, because I know I learned so much from my outings. I learned to be a lot more confident and not really worry too much about what people say. So I feel like it's important to give your relationship a try first, and I would definitely tell them that. I'd say, I understand that you're having a little bit of struggles with your relationships at the moment, but I want you to understand that we did this with your best interest. We didn't do it because you were the last pairs and we couldn't pair you two together anymore. We worked so hard to try to just jumble people around to make sure we have the best pairs as possible, because we want you to be retained in this space. Again, I'm mentioning retention because this is a retention component, which is the Kuya Ate Adi program. And it is a space where people can feel that they can foster relationships and growth with people. And then also, check in with your grands and check in with your other families. And I understand there's a little controversy with families, but then again, at the same time, I do notice that they are beneficial in the space. Because if you don't have that relationship with your Kuya Ate Adi, or your direct queer ate, then you can find that with your grand, and then maybe your grand can direct it to your queer ate, and they'll help you work a relationship together.
I completely agree with Zara. You literally took a lot of words from my mouth. But first of all, I would because I'm a peer counselor this year for KP Star, and what I like to do is understand what's the problem first. Why is this not happening? Why is it not working out? And I want to understand the situation first. Talk to the kuya or ate and outing individual, and then I just want to figure out what's the issue and stuff. And again, what Zara said, as internal, I would want to pair you up with the people who's gonna challenge you the most, who's gonna put so much, help you grow as a person. And I would just reaffirm them this is again, trust the process, and it's not gonna happen right away. It's not gonna happen like this, because some pairs are it's gonna take a year. It's gonna take more than a year. So I just want to reassure them that this this program has its purpose, and if just trust the process. Believe that this is something, not just we paired you up because we didn't want you we want you to be similar all the time, and we want you to connect through difference, not just similarities, because connecting through difference is a different thing than connecting to similarities. And connecting through pain also, it's the same thing. And again, I would emphasize how there's other queens and authors out there. There's peer counselors. there's board members. You know, like you can find that connection with someone else. You don't need to find that connection with just your own ate. Like what Zarah said, like you can find that connection with your grand, with your other families, or you know, like I would wanna like facilitate like a one-on-one with not just in families, but I would try to have one-on-ones like what Raymar did on and Camilla did on their board. I would want to facilitate that one-on-one, random one-on-ones. Like I would sign you up, and then I would pair you to this random like I feel like you should grow if you talk to this person. Like that would be like beneficial for you because it's not just you and your kuya ate adi, not your kuya ate, but it's another connection. So.
Alright, I'll ask the same question as I asked Alexia. Just of accountability, as an exec, one of your duties is to keep KD board members accountable, and knowing that most, if not all, of KD board members are going to be your friends. How do you separate personal and professional, and how do you keep board members accountable?
Again, well, like I always say, if a board member is not like doing their job, I would want to understand again, like, why are you not like, what's happening? What's hindering you from doing a great job? And I feel like that's an important thing to start with because that's understanding and that's great communication as a leader. And like accountability is just, I really just want to be there for support and not just kind of like not force them, and I just want to remind them like, why did you sign up for this position? And I just want to remind them that GBMers voted for you. They saw something in you that it is worth, that you are being like, that you're worth being a board member. And I feel like you should see that too. You know, like I just want to reassure them like, they chose you for a reason, and it's not just like, I hope that I can like just be there for you and then talk to you about like your potential and the growth that you can like do in like a year. And it's just, what was your other question, sorry?
That was it.
Accountable. Professional and then,
yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry. For me, I was Coco last year, and me and Rachel really butt head a lot because we were like different personalities, and I felt like arguing is not a bad thing. Arguing, because if you're not arguing, if you're not stressing in board, you're not doing it like the right job. Like arguing is great communication. At least you're communicating what your problems and what you can do to make that goal. Like we all have the same passion. We have the same passion running here right now, and it's just like it's not. We all have the same reasons why we're running, and it's like professionalism and. Like I was able to separate like professionals and friendship because I was like really close friends with Ko, and then like we were arguing, and at the same time we were able to come back and then look at the big purpose, big goal, and like understand. I mean, reassure yourself that we're doing the same thing and the same passion.
So I think professionalism and accountability goes hand in hand. To be a professional person, you have to be accountable for your own responsibilities, for your duties. But I also understand that we have other duties and we have other responsibilities. We're students, we're sports team people, we're in other orgs, and I totally understand that. I know KP is not your life as much as we want it to be, but once you walk in through that art space door, you should have that professional mindset going. But at the same time, I don't want you to go into sport, have like the straight face and not like have fun doing a meeting. Because I know the meetings can become so extensively long and dragging. And I don't want it to be like boring. I don't want to keep you in there for so long and be like, I really don't want to be here. I want to keep you in there and want you to be in there. Because I think the work that we do is really important. So, and addressing the fact that some of the people that will be on board might be my friends. And I'm totally okay with that because why not have coworkers that are your friends? Because I think it's really important to develop that relationship so that you can understand what that other person is going through. Oh, hey, you have that midterm. How are you doing that event soon? So kind of like checking in. And as far as accountability and keeping people in check, I feel like what Ericson said, I really value communication. I think it is such a big component in any kind of relationship, whether it's professional, intimate, or just like a friendship relationship. It's so important to communicate because you lose track of what you want to to communicate to people, and then misunderstandings happen. So I want to be able to continuously, regularly check in with people, especially when I know they have a big event coming up. Because I know that that's when the stress starts to kick in, and I want people to be able to know, hey, are you okay? Do you need some help? How can I help you? And who can help you? Yeah.
As vice chair internal, you're an exec along with the chair and personnel and finance. How do you plan to foster growth within your board members and prevent them from burning out?
So again, I know as experience being a board member, that does tend to happen, especially towards the end of the year where you're kind of skating on thin ice and you're on that last midterm and you're already in summer mode and you just don't want to do anything anymore. I see RC shaking her head saying yes because that's what she probably is. I'm just kidding. But, but no, yeah, I totally understand because during my first year, towards the end, I was feeling so burnt out. But you know what helped me move back up and not feel so burnt out? The execs. And I think that is the duty of the exec, to be able to be there as a support for other board members, to kind of let them know hey, you're nearing the end, and kind of how can I help you through the struggling moment that you have? How can I help you so you're doing things a lot more smoothly and you're not going to burn out and not going to be retained in the space? Because I want you to come back. I want you to become a board member again, or continue being a GBMer, or continue being part of the community. Join decoration committees at Makasama or other kinds of events. But yeah, so I think that's my answer.
As vice chair internal, you're an exec along with the chair, external and finance. How do you plan to foster growth within your board members and prevent them from burning out?
Fostering growth for me, as an exec, I would want my first goal as an exec is look back at this moment and then actually what every position said to actually be accomplished, because there's I failed on doing something, saying something from Q&A, and then I didn't do something throughout my whole year, and I was just want to remind them set goals, set goals on what you want to accomplish at your position, and I want to challenge them by thinking outside the box. What would you want to leave behind? What would you want to start, and then people to continue the next year, and it's fostering growth and burning out. Yeah, as Coco, it was really a whole year process for me, and it was I burned out a lot. And what helped me the most was just my ate Diana, who was a chair in that year, and she always kept on check, ating, how are you, but not as a chair, but as an ate. I had other relationships, my outings, they would always looking at their faces, looking at the GBMers' faces and PCers, it was so worth it. And then I just wanted to remind it to the board members, this is a worth position. Trust the process again. I can't emphasize the trusting the process, because it's really rewarding at the end. I can't even feel maybe, because again, being a board member, I learned you can never know your position until you experience it yourself. And it was really I've never paired up outing before. I've never been an exec, but I know I have a lot of passion that I can radiate that to anyone who isn't a board member, and hopefully be inspired and be relighting their passion at the same time.
Oh, okay. So, internal is really immersed with the GBMers because you're the members of TP, especially with the meetings and whatnot. And also since you guys on the staff as well, right? So there are a lot of people who are dependent on you, but how do you intend to retain yourself in this space and as a student? Because you're still have to be students.
Can you repeat the how can you?
Oh, so since there's so many people depending on you within the KP space and that community, how do you intend to retain yourself in this space? Oh, and as a student.
Okay. again, like I'm a really passionate leader and like person, and throughout the whole process of KP, I found other passions, and I found other spaces, and I feel like that's really important to find another space than KP, because KP is toxic. Like it was really like for me like social like you can like say something and then it goes around right away, like just to be honest, and then that kind of like destroyed like some like my potential, like, and as a board member like my year especially, because yeah, like there's just problems. But again, like sorry, how can you
How do you tend to retain
Okay.
yourself in the space and as a student academically?
yeah, like I like other spaces because it reminds me of like not just I just don't have KP, but I have other spaces to like rely on, and I can be someone else on that space. Like I can be like not professional all the time at KP. Like it just makes me like want to extend my personality and not just like be the board member and exec. And for me, knowing other spaces, and then they always have my like I know my team always have my back, and my AB team always have my back, and it's so good to feel that. If you don't feel that in this space, if you're like burnt out, I would go up to them and then looking at their faces, and they're just like like because we have like this affirmation. I have this affirmation letter from them, and then I just looked at it, and then it makes me feel so good because I have other friends and other spaces to rely on, which makes me fuel my energy and then keep doing what I want to do and rekindle my passion whenever I turn to burnout as a student or as a board member.
Okay. So how I plan to retain myself in space. I know it's fulfilling the shoes of a vice chair internal is such a big job because you are, like you said, the face of TP, especially doing UVMs. And at the same time, you're prone to actually being extremely stressed out. And I understand that because I've seen that with other execs and other vice chair internals. And for me, I feel like I've gone through 3 years of college where I've been parts of spaces what required so much of my time that I feel like I've kind of got the hang of balancing things out and kind of, making Google Calendar my best friend. It's so helpful. And then having the time to kind of give myself a little break sometimes, take a breather, and kind of check in with myself. Check in of how I'm doing. Am I like doing things right? Am I, doing self-care? Because I don't just want to retain you all. I want to retain myself because who's going to retain you if I'm not retaining, right? Or if vice chair internal, not me, sorry. So I think it's really important, retaining the vice chair internal, and how I plan to do that is just, again, kind of reaching out to other execs and reaching out to other board members. And if I'm in a situation where I need help, I'm not afraid to ask for help. I will ask for help because I am one person. I'm not like the world where I can handle everything on my shoulders, and I know I'm not like that. So I feel like it's important, especially even as a board member, to ask for help and not be afraid to get a no and go somewhere else and ask for another help. And also, don't take it hard on other people if they say no because they have other things too. So, and also to kind of, again, check in with myself and check in on how I'm doing and making sure I am doing my programs in a... Is that it? So doing my programs as smooth as possible to make sure that I am not being stressed out, because I like to stay calm because I feel like that's how I get the job done.
That was 5 questions. So, down to answer one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you can answer the question however you want to. So, I personally think that passion is not a question. Your work ethic is not a problem. But what I want to know is what your vision is for the position. So, how do you see the position evolving in a certain way? Because I personally think that I didn't do that this year. So, how would you do that in your year?
Is that me?
Both of you.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm first.
Oh yeah.
Okay, no, yeah. I totally shouldn't think you shouldn't put yourself down that way.
Oh.
Like, you did so much during GBMs, and especially as internal. So I just wanted to put that out there. As far as my vision, I definitely want to continue the things that other vice chairs have done. Of course, doing